Today, you're about to see the most extreme weather moments ever caught on camera, and some of them are 1 in a billion rare. So subscribe and click the bell before those buttons get washed away. Nature is always willing to help out when your electric car runs out of battery. At least the driver wasn't hurt. The last place you'd want to be in a gale like this is 10 meters in the air with no way to get down. The driver of this car miraculously escaped from a mudslide in California. He wasn't hurt, but he definitely got to be the coolest pirate I've ever seen. The fires in Greece this year were so intense that they even blocked out the sun. Fortunately, people were able to evacuate in time. It's hard to imagine something more dangerous than a wildfire. But how about a fire tornado? How's that even possible? Who knows what it could have done if it hadn't been put out in time? What do you think happens when the pressure in a glacial river becomes too high? Well, it comes bursting out of the ice, shooting water 6 meters into the air, which then flows down about 61 meters to the base. Who let Michael Bay outside again? Oh wait, it was just a 160,000 amp lightning strike hitting the electric fence of a horse farm on a sunny day. No, this isn't Shrek's jacuzzi, but a unique mud volcano in southern Taiwan. And guess what else it can do? Burn. And it does so several times a year. How's that for an upgrade? Imagine how strong the wind has to be to literally destroy an entire tennis center in Boreana. Luckily, no one was hurt. This is Tiffany, and today is her birthday. Her other birthday. She wasn't hurt, but I think a new fear has just been unlocked for me. If it hadn't been recorded, no one would have believed that the rain had chased this guy across an entire field. I don't know what's worse, the hurricane these people got caught in, or Godzilla screaming in the background. Write in the comments if you believe it's real. Well, if Jack and Rose had been on this container ship instead of the Titanic, the movie would have ended with the scene of them standing at the bow of the ship. And yet, the last place on Earth I would want to be is on a ship setting sail during a storm in Wellington.
That's amazing. That is a huge swell.
During Hurricane Idalia, the pilot of this plane managed to capture St. Elmo's fire, a weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created in an atmospheric electric field. It's moments like these that make you wonder whether it's time to get new neighbors or an entirely new place to live. Imagine how much rain it takes to cause the air conditioner to switch to liquid cooling mode. But for this Hong Kong resident, things apparently didn't go according to plan. But judging by the determined look on his face, he's got it all under control. Don't repeat this yourself. Next time you find yourself caught in a hurricane, stay away from the trees, because the elements do not mess around. The owners of these cars got caught in a flood in an underground parking lot in China. Look at how high that water's rising while they're all in a traffic jam. After the earthquake in Indonesia, a group of people decided to go to the mall and immediately regretted it. This was a tsunami capable of flooding an entire city. These people got lucky and no one was harmed, but don't make the same mistake yourself. Okay, so imagine for a second that this iceberg is moving towards your house. What do? Tell us. Quickly, please. I don't know how long we've got. These Veracruz beachgoers thought they had plenty of time to evacuate because they had never experienced a tornado before. Yeah, they won't make that mistake again. Fortunately, no one was hurt. If you believe that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, then why do you think this windmill is already on fire? Exactly. Luckily, no one was hurt. Tesla's so good for nature, then why does nature hate it so much? Something doesn't add up. If you've seen these kinds of clouds before in the movie Independence Day, then you know what comes next. Oh, okay, this time it passed. Here's how the Arizona heat can turn an ordinary car ride into a barbecue. I wonder how much money tire companies in Arizona make. This isn't Arizona anymore, but a road in China after a severe flood. Do you have any idea why there are rocks growing out of it? Write in the comments. Imagine what it must be like to watch the roads in your hometown turn into raging rivers. Unfortunately, this is exactly what residents of the Spanish city of Parque Venecia had to witness. At least there's no one outside. Now, look at the consequences of a record 500 millimeters of precipitation in less than 24 hours during the costliest typhoon to ever hit China. It's a good thing these cars are empty. Have you always wanted to live in the mountains? Well, take a look at one of the downsides that your realtor may fail to mention. Tourists were annoyed that they were asked to get off the bus just before this happened. Massive forest fires in Canada have turned this town into Hawkins from Stranger Things. This video was recorded at 3 in the afternoon. Here's a possible reason your flight may get canceled during heavy rain. They practically had to sail away from this downpour in Frankfurt. It looks like aliens are stealing our water, but it's actually a water spout forming. The owner of this field was hoping some wet weather would put out the wildfire, but I'm gonna assume that he didn't forward that chain letter in 2007. Never come this close to it. This is exactly what that ball lightning your mother used to scare you with as a child looks like. Still don't want to close the window when it rains? If you're sick of seeing rich guys on yachts, this moment is for you. If that's the same yacht, I think it's time to sell it. The only thing worse than China's traffic jams is what happens to traffic during a flood. All these abandoned cars will be nothing but scrap metal as soon as the water recedes. The situation was even worse in Saudi Arabia. Just look at this street filled to the brim. They say parking in Canada is expensive, but it looks like these people won't have to pay for another 3 months after ditching their cars during the storm. Want to see the consequences of the heaviest rain in a quarter century? Right now, you're looking at a partial collapse of the dam at Braskereidfoss in eastern Norway after Cyclone Hans. That's what 100 millimeters of rain per hour can do. Here's an answer to the question, how to make a flood even more terrible. Thank God there wasn't a flame nearby. Have you ever seen what a storm looks like on Mars? Well, you don't have to look it up after seeing this storm on the shores of Normandy. People often forget what nature is capable of and underestimate its power, and it costs them dearly. Fortunately, in this case with the Cheontong River, everyone just got wet. But you have to admit, despite their destructiveness and danger, some natural phenomena are also incredibly beautiful. An unexpected landslide caused a major collapse on the Black Sea-Mediterranean road, and these drivers will now have to find a detour, somehow. I would also recommend they buy a lottery ticket. This unstoppable tsunami was the result of a magnitude 9 earthquake in Japan and perfectly demonstrates that there's nowhere to escape from the forces of nature. You'll not be safe on land or on water. Look at how the people of Nepal have to use this road while it's still standing during a flood. I don't recommend doing this under any circumstances. And that's all for today. It's amazing that people still believe the world belongs to them when you see moments like these. Storm season is still in full swing, so if you want to see a follow-up, tell us in the comments and like this video. And also, be sure to tell us about your experience with extreme weather. See you soon.